Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to County Court at Law Number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. My name is Judge Terrence Holmes. I'm the presiding judge here in County Court at Law Number 2. This morning we have 3 dockets. We have an announcement docket, pretrial conference docket, and a trial docket. When I call your name, please come forward with your attorney. If your attorney is not here, then we will wait for your attorney to arrive because your attorney may be in another court handling another matter. If you are not represented by an attorney, then when I call your name, you will come before the court by yourself. First case is Alan Valdez. 2 cases, cause numbers 24 CCCR 2011 and cause number 23 CCCR 0642. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Alan Valdez. Mr. Valdez, is that your full name? How are you doing, Mr. Valdez?
Doing well, yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Valdez, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Glenn Crocker. Attorney Crocker, how are you doing?
Morning, Your Honor. I'm well, thank you.
Good morning. And the state is represented in these cases by Attorney Andrew Hubel. Attorney Hubel, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Mr. Crocker, these cases on the trial docket, you wanted to approach the bench, is that
Yes, Your
correct?
Honor. We announced ready, last time we were here, the state filed a motion and let us know over the weekend that there's going to be an issue with some key witnesses, so I believe it's the state's motion.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor. The state's first motion for continuance on this case.
Okay. Can I have a copy of the motion to print it off? Let me see if it's in this stack. There's some research in, it's the last one, okay. Now there's, the court is gonna grant state's motion for continuance in your cases. Your cases will be reset till March 10th, 2025 for trial. The attorney is gonna get your recess. Once you get your recess from your attorney, you're free to go. Have a blessed day, Mr. Crocker.
Thank you, Your
I
Honor.
think these are your last 2 cases. You're free to go as well.
It is.
Blessed day.
Yeah. Right. No.
Brianna Cobos. This is cause, well, 2 cases, cause numbers 23 CCCR 0842 and cause number 24 CCCR 1280. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Brianna Denise Cobos. Ms. Cobos, is that your full name? How are you doing, Ms. Cobos? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Cobos, you're represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Peter Dahl. Attorney Dahl, how are you doing?
Very good.
That's good. Now, state is represented in these cases by Attorney Haley Simmons. Attorney Simmons, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Dawley's case on the trial docket, what's your announcement?
Ready.
State,
Your Honor, the state has a continuance on 23 CCR 0842. It is our first, but we are announcing ready in the other cause.
you said, okay, so you're ready on, this one. And this is your first motion for continuance.
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll grant that motion. You have any objections?
I don't have objection to granting the continuance. I just thought we were gonna go to trial with that one since it's from 2023. So,
Well, I mean, that's the motion, that's the one. They filed a continuous on.
right.
Okay, so this is, I'm gonna reset. State motion to continue. Reset that one for trial on the 10th. And this one, was next, this case 1280, so y'all need to be back at 1:30. Okay,
Yeah, I got it, but yes.
okay. You can get your reset. Well, y'all can come back just come back at 1:30 if y'all want to do that.
Okay.
You get your resets there.
Very kind.
This is cause number 24 CCCR 1148. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Kevin Ben Blakeney Jr. Mr. Blakeney, is that your full name? Mr. Blakeney, would you please raise your right hand? You swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Blakeney, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Blakeney?
Good.
That's good. I'm doing fine. Mr. Blakeney, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Brennan Mitchell. Attorney Mitchell, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge. How you doing this morning?
You're doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Mitchell, do you waive a record in Mr. Blakeney's case?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Blakeney, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Blakeney, it alleges that you, Kevin Ben Blakeney Jr., on or about September 17th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a watercraft vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, in a public waterway, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of boating while intoxicated. Mr. Blakeney, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Sir, take your hat off. Thank you. And also have before me a document on my tablet that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document is also labeled as This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Sir.
You're supposed to, yeah, you gotta check the box that says DWI, just change it to voting while intoxicated, BWI.
Oh, yeah, that's not
There's
Judge.
different punishment ranges. The DWI punishment range is the same for voting while intoxicated. Did you erase the,
Oh, I'm sorry.
you gotta check the box that says where the BWI is.
Do I need to initial it? Judge, or-
I initially the way I made the changes.
That's fine.
Now, Mr. Blakeney, I have before me a document that's titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. You notice the one box that's checked, the box that's checked. There's some corrections that I made on it. It was DWI, but it's BWI, which is voting while intoxicated, has the same punishment range as the DWI. Do you understand that? Now, on page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, it's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me back up. On the third page of State's Exhibit number 1, is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Blakeney, before you signed and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Blakeney, are you a citizen of the United States?
State offer states one.
Any objections? No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Mitchell, you've advised and counseled Mr. Blakeney. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Judge.
And Mr. Blakeney, your attorney, Mr. Mitchell, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blakeney, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the
In
agreement?
exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 6 months deferred probation, $500 fine, 40 hours community service, interlock and DWI standard conditions of probation. And with that, the state has agreed to expunction once defendant has completed all terms of probation.
That's our understanding of the agreement as well, Judge.
What is this for cost?
It's good to know.
Proof 50 or anything.
Want any?
Well, not anything, but anything. Think about it. No, he put his papers in and left that day. Retires that day.
Okay. Mr. Blakeney, the state is offering that you serve 6 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 6-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $377. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15, and a BWI conviction fine of $100. Now, your total monthly installments will be $288 a month. Will you be able to pay the $288 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the deal. Fee should a further evaluation be needed. You'll be required to pay an additional $50. You'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service, install the interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. Attend and complete a DW education class, have an alcohol assessment, adhere to the other standard conditions of driving while intoxicated or disprobation. And the state is agreeing to an expunction of these charges upon completing the probation. Now, Mr. Blakeney, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Okay, Mr. Blakeney, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Blakeney, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed and it will not result in a conviction on your record. Now, you can talk to your attorney about that. You can stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of a bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of bailiff, you're free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Does he need to go to probation as soon as he leaves?
Yeah, once he leave here. Armando Ovara.
He's present on the Zoom. John.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Hi,
Mr. Ovara. Well, how are you doing?
Oh, good. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Ovara. You're represented in your case by your attorney Tom Kelly. Attorney Kelly, how are you doing?
Doing fine, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Good.
And Mr. Kelly, this case is on the announcement docket.
That's right, Judge.
And what's your announcement?
Judge, we were reset off the trial docket next door. I just don't have the date yet. And as soon as I get it from the court, I can let your court know. If that's okay.
Well,
We were on Judge Stevens' trial docket.
are they out of the same?
Same offense that you're on.
It's the same
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Ovara, our court coordinator is gonna check the computer for court date. Once we get a court date, we're gonna get that date to your attorney and your bondsman. Stay in contact with your attorney, and your bondsman. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Maybe excuse me.
Oh, yes, this is
Thank
your last case?
It is, Judge.
All right, you have a blessed day.
You
You're
as
free to go. Okay. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, this is, Weldon James Everett III. Okay, Mr. Everett, your full name is Weldon James Everett III.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Everett?
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Everett, you're represented in your case by your attorney Jansen Bailey, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Bailey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Bailey, what's your announcement in Mr. Everett's case?
We're ready, Your Honor.
State?
State's ready.
Okay. Mr. Everett, you can come back at 1:30 this afternoon.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll see you this afternoon, Mr. Bailey, at 1:30.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, y'all have a blessed day.
Right.
Yeah, y'all free to go. See you at 1:30. Did somebody check this Chad Tippett, Chad Boudreaux? Chad Boudreaux? Who's the lawyer? What document was it on? Oh, okay. So that's being dismissed. Chad Boudreaux? I see him as checked here. This, Ms. Mosby. Boudreaux, you haven't checked this here. I just called his name twice yet. Chad Boudreaux. Jury trial, page 3, Chad Boudreaux. It's not him. Yeah, no. The case is being dismissed. Okay, that case was dismissed. Mr. Parker, you ready on yours? You want me to hold?
One second.
Okay. Aaron Buller? Huh? Oh, he did? Oh, okay. Just hold on, Ms. Buller. We'll call you back in a minute. Eric Savoy? Oh, the announcement document. Okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 1928. Case is filed in the state of Texas versus Eric Savoy. Mr. Savoy, is that your full name? How are you doing, Mr. Savoy? That's good. Mr. Savoy, you're representing your case by your attorney Don Boudreaux. Attorney Boudreaux, how are you doing?
Just fine, sir.
That's good. Now, Mr. Boudreaux, what is your announcement in Mr. Savoy's case?
Your Honor, Mr. Boyd was just telling me that he's in bad shape. I'll let him explain that.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me do this here. Before you go into okay. Okay, that's fine. Let's give him a reset date.
March 10th.
Okay, this case is gonna be reset to March 10th, 2025. Your attorney is gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And Mr. Boudreaux, this is your last case?
As far as I know. sir.
Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 1308. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Eric Richard Green. Mr. Green is on Zoom. Mr. Green, you can take your mic off of mute. Mr. Green, you can take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how are you doing, Mr. Green?
Fine. And how about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Green, you're represented in your case by your attorney. Well, you have two cases. You're represented in your cases by your attorney, James Paget. Mr. Paget, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Now, Mr. Paget, what are your announcements in Mr. Green's cases?
Your Honor, we just received all the discoveries, so I'm going to need to sit down with Mr. Green, and I'm also going to need to request an offer on the case now that I have the discovery.
Okay, give us a reset date.
March 10th.
Okay, these cases will be reset to March 10th, 2025. Mr. Green, your attorney and your bondsman will be given notice of your recess. Again, the reset is March 10th, 2025. You're free to go. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman, and you have a blessed day.
You too. Yes, sir.
Okay, and Mr. Paget, I think this is your only two cases. You're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you for your consideration, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Okay, you're welcome. Ms. Barrazo, I think you have a client that's in custody.
Yes, sir. Actually, two cases. One is not. I believe there's a felony pending on one.
Gabriel Joseph. Okay, this is cause number 23 CCCR 2532. Case is style of state of Texas versus Gabriel Joseph. Mr. Joseph, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Joseph? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Joseph, you're representing your case by your attorney Laura Barrazo. Ms. Barrazo, how are you doing? And Ms. Barrazo, what is your announcement in Mr. Joseph's case? This case is on the court's trial day.
So the state and I have come to an agreement on Mr. Joseph's case.
Oh, fine.
It's going to be reduced to a JP.
JP reduction.
And it will be set up sometime this week for Mr. Joseph to go and pay that fine, and then he'll produce the court with proof of that.
Okay,
That is
so
correct, Your Honor.
we could maybe a 2-week reset. Would that be
That should be
fine?
enough, Judge.
Okay, give him 2-week reset for this JP reduction. Okay, this case will be reset to February 17th, 2025. Now, Mr. Joseph, if you pay the fine, JP fine and court costs in this case, I think you have a receipt and you have to bring that up to the district attorney's office on the 3rd floor, and they will give that to Ms. Simmons, and Ms. Simmons will dismiss the case.
That's correct.
So if that's done before the 17th, you would not have to come here on the 17th. Okay, but if it's not done by the 17th, you need to be here on the 17th. And stay in contact with your attorney because she'll be checking with the DA's office as well. Okay, so you can get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. In the case that
On Michael Peterson, her case is actually, I
Oh,
think
so
there's a
that-
competency hearing
Oh,
on
I
May
see.
the 19th.
I see that. Okay, so with that, it'll be reset.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Lori, I'm not gonna have to-
I'm ready to explain my case.
Okay,
Paula Watts, Judge, we're when we want to announce on.
okay, Paula Watts. This is cause number 23 CCCR 2130. Ms. Watts, how are you doing?
Bless you, yourself.
I'm blessed as well. Thanks for asking. Now, Ms. Watts, you're represented in your case by your attorney Alan Parker. Attorney Parker, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge, thanks.
And Mr. Parker, what's your announcement in Ms. Watts' case?
Your Honor, she did not qualify for pretrial. I've just got an offer on this case. I'm asking for a reset so I can go over those terms with her and see if we can reach an agreement.
Okay, give us a reset date. This is on the pretrial conference docket, page 2, the first case. This case will be reset to March 10th, 2025. Ms. Watts, you're gonna get your reset from the attorney. Once you get your reset from the attorney, you're free to go. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
And Mr. Parker, you can get your reset from the court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
I got one other one, Judge, Mr. Guidry. We're trying to,
Have another one?
I believe it's today, Stephen Guidry. We're trying to plead.
Yes,
now.
Stephen, oh, today?
We're trying back. There's not a tablet anywhere. There's one tablet and it's broke.
Well, you can use this one.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Okay, what else we have?
We just received news from Gypsy Second, the attorney Ryan Gertz is ill.
Okay, Gertz.
We had a
So-
special setting in 252nd. They canceled, so he won't be present.
Okay. Tell, Linda, so she can get his cases reset. Ansley Rambin. Ainsley Rambin. Okay. That's Gertz. We'll see his other plan. Travis Bruce. Travis Bruce. All these people were here. They must have told them. These are Gertz clients. Charles Ritchie. Okay, Mr. Ritchie, we just received word that your attorney is ill, and so your cases are going to be reset. Okay. Just have a seat in that first chair on the wall, wait for your name to be called. You say he's in Polk County? Ms. Taft, you representing the case by your attorney Benjamin Jeffries, is that correct? How are you doing? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. We just received word that your attorney Benjamin Jeffries is in another county, it's in Polk County, so he will not be here today. Your case is going to be reset. Once your case is reset, you'll be free to go have a seat in that second chair and you have a blessed day. Boy Wood, Wood, your full name is Boy Wayland Wood. How you doing, Mr. Wood? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Wood, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney J. Michael Reisinger. Attorney Reisinger, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Judge. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Attorney Reisinger, what is your announcement in Mr. Wood case?
Yeah, Mr. Hoover and I've discussed this case with him and he's made the offer and, he's got one more case in another county. Mr. Wood does, and I'm trying to coordinate so we can get everything done. So I'm asking for a reset so I can get this, so we get something taken care of and get this case disposed of.
Okay,
State has no objection.
okay, when is the case that's out of county set, you know?
I'm not sure if it's set this month or next month, but it'll be set for sure by next month. And we've been to court one time on it. I just don't have that in front of me, you know.
Okay, you're gonna give a standard reset that, is that 310? No, it's on announcement.
317.
March 17th. Yeah, this case will be reset to March 17, 2025 for announcement. Attorney Reisinger, you're gonna get your reset. And once you get your reset from your attorney, Mr. Wood, you're free to go. Ms. Reisinger, you're free to go, and both you and your client have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Maker, what,
Jury trial.
Aaron Lawrence Buller. This is cause number M334252. Case is styled the state of Texas. Okay, let me get my tablet back. You have another tablet I could use? Thank you. Okay, this is cause number M334252. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Aaron Lawrence Buller. Mr. Buller, your full name is Aaron Lawrence Buller?
Correct.
Mr. Buller, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Buller, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Buller?
Good day, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Buller, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney James Macon. Attorney Macon, how are you doing?
Monday, Your Honor.
I understand that. Now, Mr. Macon, do you waive a record in Mr. Buller's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Buller, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled Information. This information filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Aaron Lawrence Buller, on or about November 6th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed a Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. The state is abandoning the enhancement paragraph, is that correct,
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Buller? Okay, so the state is abandoning the enhancement paragraph, and so therefore, Mr. Buller, instead of being charged with a Class A misdemeanor, you'll be charged with a Class B misdemeanor, which is a lower or lesser included offense.
Yes, sir.
So to the Class B misdemeanor offense, driving while intoxicated, which allegedly occurred on or about November 6th of 2022, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes,
Mr. Buller, I also have before me a document on my tablet that's titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, which is labeled as State's Exhibit 1, there are a set of initials, there are 2 sets of initials, AB, and the other set of initials and initials of the attorney. Did you place your initials AB on the line that's titled guilty?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled
That's
defendant?
correct.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Buller, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
I did.
Is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Buller, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State?
Stay up for stage 1.
Any objections?
No objection, John.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Macon, you advised and counseled Mr. Buller, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Buller, your attorney, Mr. Macon, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Buller, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given, and I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement in this case is to 180 days probated over 14 months with a $750 fine, 30 hours community service, BWI standard conditions of probation, and the installation and maintaining of an interlock device.
Your Honor, it should be noted that Mr. Bueller has no driver's license and does not own a car.
Okay.
He understands that should he drive a friend's car or something, he would need to get an interlock.
Right, any vehicle that you own operate?
Yes.
Okay, let's see, what is the score called? This is. Okay, now, Mr. Buller. In your case, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you will be placed on probation for a period of 14 months.
Yes, sir.
During the 14-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs of $392. You'll be required to pay DWI conviction fine of $100, probation fee of $6 a month, urinalysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to pay, well, Jefferson County Code, you will be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is a total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $177 a month. Will you be able to pay the $177 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 30 hours of community service, installing an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, have attend and complete a DWI conviction class or DWI education class, and you'll be required to have an alcohol assessment and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Mr. Buller, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes,
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Buller, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Buller, this will conclude your case. Please stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay. Let me get that. Okay. Nicholas Weaver. Oh, yes. Okay, we need a prosecutor. Is there a prosecutor? Okay. This is cause number M331574. Case of style of state of Texas versus Nicholas Wayne Weaver. Mr. Weaver, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Weaver?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking as well. Now, Mr. Weaver, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney Mel Shalanda. Attorney Shalanda, how are you doing?
Getting over the flu, Judge, and I can't get rid of this cough. So
Okay.
other than that, I'm okay.
Okay. Now, Mr. Shalanda, what is your announcement in Mr. Weaver's case?
Yeah, we're still waiting on some video evidence and asking for one more reset to make an announcement.
Give us a reset date.
March 17th.
Okay, Mr. Weaver, your case will be reset to March 17th, 2025. Give your attorney opportunity to get the full discovery in your case. Your attorney is going to get your reset. Once you get your reset, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Thank you. And Mr. Shalander, once you get your reset, you're free to go, and we hope that you have a full and speedy recovery. You're welcome. Mr. Provo? Larry Jamaica Frank? Okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 0266 case is styled the state of Texas versus Larry Jamaica Frank. Mr. Frank, is that your full name? Mr. Frank, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Frank, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Frank, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Frank? Yes, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Frank, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Marvel Provo. Attorney Provo, how are you doing? And Ms. Provo, do you waive a record in Mr. Frank's case? Mr. Frank, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Larry Jermichael Frank, on or about December 2nd of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of dangerous drugs. Mr. Frank, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Frank, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Frank, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? And at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? Mr. Frank, I also have a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Frank, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you understand everything that you went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Frank, are you a citizen of the United States?
Stand for stage one.
Any objections?
No,
No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Ms. Provo, you've advised and counseled Mr. Frank. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
no,
Mr. Frank, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation? Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Frank, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is to 90 days probated over 1 year with a $300 fine and 40 hours community service.
Ms. Provo, you appointed in this case?
Yeah.
What is this court cost?
277.
100, prime that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see, okay. Mr. Frank, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $300 plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. And you will be required to pay a crime lab fee of $100. Your total monthly installments, that is a total amount that you will be required to pay each month, is $167 a month. Will you be able to pay the $167 each month?
Yes.
You'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Frank, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Frank, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Frank, please stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Ms. Provo, is this your only case?
Yes.
You're free to go as well. You have a blessed day. He's not in here. Mr. Reynolds, you ready on, what's that?
Via Senor,
Villasenor?
believe we're gonna work that.
Okay, I hope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Judge, we need
So,
an approach on Mr. High.
On the trial docket.
okay. Nair High? Where is it? Okay, this is cause number 23 CCCR 0390, cases style the state of Texas versus Denair High. Mr. High, is that your full name?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
How you doing, Mr. High?
I'm doing good. How about you, John?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Mr. High. You're represented in your case by your attorney, Marcus Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge, thank you.
That's good. Mr. Wilkerson, what's your announcement, Mr. High's case?
Fence is ready, Your Honor.
State,
State's ready, Your Honor.
okay, y'all be back at 1:30.
Yes, sir.
Trial, the number one city. Dante Martin. Okay, this is cause number 24 CCCR 2050, case of style of state of Texas versus Shantae Naomi Martin. Ms. Martin, is that your full name? How you doing, Ms. Martin? Okay. Hope you'll be feeling better. Now, Ms. Martin, you are pro se, which means you're representing yourself in this case. This case is on the pretrial conference document, which means it's not set for trial today. Now, have you received the discovery? Well, have you gone to the district attorney's office for discovery? Okay, now at this point, the case could be set on the trial docket, or if you, because it's on the pretrial conference docket.
I believe, and you can correct me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, Ms. Martin, but last time you indicated that you wanted to set it for a plea. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, so we could do that today. Just have a seat and one of the prosecutors will come out and talk to you. I'm still in it. Yeah, I'm still in it. Yeah, I just sent it. Is Gidra, is that Mr. Walker? Yeah. Then he comes back, let's see. Hey, Mr. Parker, you ready on Gidra? What document is that?
Everywhere today.
This is cause number 24 CCCR 2002. Case is style of the state of Texas versus Stephen Ray Gidry. Mr. Gidry, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gidry, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Gidry, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gidry, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Gidry?
God, sir, you.
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Gidry, you're representing your case by your attorney, Alan Parker. Attorney Parker, how are you doing?
Good.
And Mr. Parker, do you waive a record in Mr. Gidry's case?
Really, Judge.
Mr. Gidry, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Stephen Ray Gidry, on or about July 12th of 2024, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated in the state. Are you abandoning the enhancement paragraph?
We are, Your Honor.
The state is abandoning the enhancement paragraph, Mr. Gidry. What that basically means is, instead of being charged with a Class A misdemeanor offense, you'll be charged with a lesser included Class B misdemeanor DWI. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, to the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Yes.
Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gidry, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials. SG on a line that's next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are two boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have another document that's titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Gidry, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gidry, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State offers states one.
Any objection? No objection. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Parker, you provided and counseled Mr. Gidry. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gidry, your attorney, Mr. Parker, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yeah.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gidry, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 15 months deferred probation, $500 fine, 60 hours community service, interlock, and DWI standard conditions of probation.
What is this court cost? Okay, Mr. Gidry. The state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500. Those court costs of $392. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll be required to pay a DWI conviction fine of $100. Now, you will also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education an initial evaluation fee on the day of the plea, and that is $125. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $152 a month. Will you be able to pay the $152 each month?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You're required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You're required to attend and complete a DWI education class, have an alcohol assessment, and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Mr. Gidry, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes,
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
yes, I've had that.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Yes,
And do you accept the state's offer?
yes,
Okay, Mr. Gidry, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Gidry, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, Mr. Gidry, please stand in front of our court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Parker, This is your only case. You're free to go as well. You have a good day. Did we get Mr. Gertz speaking? Aiden Terrell. Mr. Terrell, your full name is Aiden Gage Terrell.
Yes, sir.
How are you, Mr. Terrell?
Good, Your Honor, yourself.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Terrell, you're represented in your case by your attorney, John Macy. Attorney Macy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Mr. Macy, what is your announcement in Mr. Terrell's case?
This is still a trial, Judge.
It's on the trial docket. So
Yes,
what is your announcement? You ready?
really.
Okay, defense?
State's ready.
I mean,
State.
state. Okay. Y'all be back at 1:30. Okay, so y'all can come back at 1:30 this afternoon. Okay,
Oh,
let's see, did we get all of Mr. Birch? Travis Bruce? From Florida? Mr. Bruce, your full name is Travis Colton Bruce?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Bruce, you're represented in case by your attorney Ryan Gertz. Is that correct? Your attorney is sick, so your attorney will not be here today. Okay, so you're gonna get a reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and have a seat in that first chair on the wall. Okay.
you could stand right here.
Charles Ritchie?
I think you already gave them.
You already gave reset, Richie his reset? I know there was a few of his clients who weren't in when we first made the announcement. Birch. Angela Rambin. That's another one that was ever set up, but. Cesar Israel Ikoy Lobos. Caesar Israel Ikoy Lobos. Okay, Caesar Ikoy Lobos was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Caesar Ikoy Lobos at the courthouse door. He did not answer. He has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. The time now is 10:39 a.m. on today's date of February 3rd of 2025. Ms. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Caesar Ikoy Lobos at the courthouse door? Ikoy Lobos. Caesar Ikoy Lobos. Okay, Caesar Ikoy Lobos did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Lobos an opportunity to appear in court. State, do you have a motion? Caesar Ikoy Lobos bonds will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest in cause numbers 24 CCCR 1000, cause number 24 CCCR 1448, and cause number 24 CCCR 26 5-4. Okay. Jesus Torres? Was that reset? That was reset?
Yes, sir. She's gonna get you up print again.
Okay, Mr. Rojas,
Yes, sir.
I think those were your clients.
I also have a Dorothy Galloway, Judge. She had a felony case this morning. I expect that that's going to get reset. I don't know if it has
Galloway, I
been
thought
yet.
that was already reset. She
Okay.
appeared here earlier. That was already reset.
Okay, that's all I have.
You're free to go. Your recess will be sent to you. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. You too.
Okay, thank you. On this pretrial, Shay Brooks, was that reset?
That was reset.
So attorney. You still working on one?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought they were supposed to be working on one.
Yes.
Okay, William Fortier? Okay, you represented by Wright Kimler? Okay. We'll wait for Mr. Kimler to arrive. Brian Schenkel? Okay, you represented by Mr. Kimler? Okay, we'll wait for him to arrive. He's in another court. And Caleb Summerall, who is that? Okay, you're also represented by Wright Kimler? He's in another court. Let's see. Mr. Galmo's case is reset. Max Liticum, he's not here. He has a felony. And there's a Erica Weaver. She also has a felony.
I did see that more outside. So he is here.
And we have Hector Barajas Alvarez.
You thought walked in, but it's fine. But it's fine, isn't it?
Oh, whatever. He must be on here. He just, sir, what's your name?
Hector Jesus Alvarez Barajas.
Okay. Okay. Now, this is cause number 24 CCCCR 2612, case of style of state of Texas versus Hector Jesus Barajas Alvarez. Mr. Barajas Alvarez is appearing via Zoom. Tell your client, if he speaks Spanish, tell him to take his hat off. I think he has a hat on.
That's not a hat,
Oh,
that's
it's
his
not?
hair.
Oh, it's his hair. Okay, I thought it was a hat.
No, that's just a bad haircut.
Oh.
No,
I don't know about that. Okay.
I'm just
Now,
picking.
now, Mr. But does he speak English? Does he speak?
Little bit.
He speaks
Little
English. No, he speaks English.
Okay, how are you doing?
Good.
Okay, that's good. Now, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney Jared Gilthorpe. Mr. Gilthorpe, what's your announcement?
Judge, I think there's a case we'll resolve. I'd like time to go over some of the discovery with the defendant, and we do have it. I just haven't been able to.
Give
go
us a
over it.
reset.
March 17th.
Okay, these cases be reset to March 17th, 2025. Okay. Now, Mr. Barajas Alvarez, you're gonna get your resets. Well, your attorney is gonna get your resets. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Héctor, ¿entendiste?
No.
Lo cambiaron la fecha para en marzo. Entonces,
Marzo?
sí, estaremos en contacto.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, okay, you should go. Now, Mr.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Gilthorpe, I think last week we had three of your cases was on the trial docket. You
That's
had a
correct.
reset.
Yes, I've got Houston bed court tomorrow, and then I've got bed court again later this week.
Okay,
And so we filed a continuance.
yeah.
Do we want to find a date and do a special setting?
I don't know, they may have already, I don't know if they reset them or not.
They did, Judge. They were reset, but
Yeah, because most of those cases, I think, was transferred from County Court at Law number 3, and they're pretty old. So you need to get those put to bed.
you want me to get with Glenda about a scheduling?
Yeah, we need to get some special settings on them and get them out of the way.
Okay, I'll contact Glenda.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Happy day.
Okay, you're free to go.
You too.
You have a blessed day.
You too.
Now, Mr. Gilthorpe,
Yes, Judge.
do you know, I think Mr. Galmore has 2 cases.
They're going to sit on the docket in felony courts for the day.
Yeah,
I saw him in
Okay.
Stevens Court earlier. He was.
Jared.
it's Erica Weaver. She must be still next door in felony court. And Max Littingham, he's in felony court. Chelsea Petaway, you are represented by Wright Kimler? Okay, we'll wait for Mr. Kimler to arrive. I think that's everybody. Right, Kimler got everybody but the young lady who's pro se. And what are we doing on that one? The lady who's pro se,
Oh, right.
Martin.
We need a reapproach on her, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Martin? Yeah. Okay, the court is back in session in cause number 24 CCCR 2050, case of Styles, State of Texas versus Shantae Naomi Martin. And state y'all wanted to reapproach?
That's correct, Your Honor. Whenever the defendant said that she wanted to set it for a plea, it was my assumption that she meant plea of guilty or no contest, but she wants to plead not guilty and set it for trial.
Okay, give us a trial date. This is on Shantae Martin, page 3 of the trial conference docket, pre-trial conference docket.
March 17th.
Okay, this case will be reset for trial March 17th, 2025. Okay, you can get your reset. Once you get your reset, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day. Was it checked? Was it on the docket? Hmm?
It's one of our cases, Your Honor.
Oh, it is on the trial docket.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Who's this? Oh, Caleb Summerall. Come forward. Now, Mr. Summerall, your full name is Caleb Blake Summerall? How are you doing, Mr. Summerall? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. You're representing your case by your attorney, Right Kimler. Mr. Kimler is in another courtroom. I just received a motion to dismiss your case. That was filed by the state. Is that correct, state?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And I'm signing this motion to dismiss. Once you get a copy of the motion, you're free to go. Well, once you get a copy of the order and motion, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. Please stand behind that young lady. Hey, the court will be in recess. Waiting on Mr.
And it had been reset and,
And so is Eric Scott has felonies?
Yes, there is 4 felonies, and Judge Stevens just rejected a plea bargain on that, so they're being reset. I don't know until when. I hadn't been given a date. But we'd like to reset his
No,
4 misdemeanors on the same day as his
well,
4 felonies if we could.
well, oh, yeah.
Yes.
If they're out of the same criminal episode, we'll do that, but if they're not out of the same criminal episode, we're gonna reset them on different days.
That's fine, Judge. They're not out of the same criminal episodes. He's on probation down there for 3 cases and has 1 new case, but it's not on the same day.
Yeah, but he has 4 misdemeanors here,
Yes, sir.
all of them are criminal trespass.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just give us, we'll reset it for announcement. Give us a reset. Gotta be reset to March 17th, 2025. Mr. Grove, you're gonna get your recess. Once you get your recess, that's right. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you see Rife down there in court?
I have seen him down there. I don't know if I've seen him in the last 5 minutes.
Okay,
But he's been down there and there.
okay. Yes, I think. Hmm? Okay. Are we ready on Villasino?
Yes, sir.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session on 2 cases. Cause numbers 24-CCCR 1967 and cause number 24-CCCR 1966. Both cases are styled in the state of Texas versus Jonathan Uriel Villasenor. Mr. Villasenor, would you please come forward? Mr. Villasenor, your full name is Jonathan Uriel Villasenor. Mr. Villasenor, would you please raise your right hand? You swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Mr. Villasenor, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Villasenor? That's good. Mr. Villasenor, you representing in your cases by your attorney Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
And Mr. Reynolds, you waive a record in Mr. Villasenor's cases?
No waive.
Mr. Villasenor, in cause number 24-CCCR 1966, I have before me a document on my computer that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Villasenor, it alleges that you, Jonathan Uriel Villasenor, on or about June 30th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense obstructing the highway passageway while you was recklessly driving. Mr. Villasenor, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Villasenor, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Guilty. Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Okay, this case was June 30th, 2024. Let me repeat that again. Now, this offense states that on or about June 30th, 2024, while you was in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of obstructing the highway passageway while you was reckless driving. Now, Mr. Villasenor, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Judge, I think this is a Class B misdemeanor.
It's a Class A under section 42.03, section D. There you go.
Yeah, but I think it's under B. I mean,
Well, it says reckless driving in the information. Reckless driving makes it an A. You could take a look at
I
that.
know, but he wasn't driving, Judge. And they know that.
Ah,
It was, the police report said B. He was parked in this room.
Defended hereafter on or about June 30th, 24, did then and there without legal privilege or authority intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly obstruct a highway to which the public or a substantial group of public has access or any other place used for passage of person.
It says
Let's
class A
see.
misdemeanor, but there's nothing in the information that says he was operating the vehicle.
Okay, let me see what it says. Let's see. First commits the offense if without legal privilege or authority, he intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly obstructs a highway, street, sidewalk, railroad, waterway, elevator, aisle, hallway, entrance, or other exit to which the public or substantial group of the public has access, or any other place used for the passage of persons, vehicles, conveyances, regardless of the means of creating the obstruction and whether the obstruction rises from his acts alone or from his acts and the acts of others. D, subject to subsection E, an offense under this section is a class A misdemeanor if it is shown on the trial of the offense that at the time of the offense, the person was operating a motor vehicle while engaging in a reckless driving exhibition. Yeah, they don't say he was operating a vehicle in that information. They say recklessly obstruct a roadway. Was operating while engaging in a reckless driving exhibition.
You agree with me?
Okay. They coded it.
I think the information is correct, Judge. I think the heading just says class A and it should be a class B according to the language and the information.
Yeah,
The
but I
state
mean,
would abandon
the
that.
reckless, they shouldn't put the reckless. In the information, it says, I'm saying when they say misdemeanor charge, obstruct highway passageway reckless drive, which implies that the person was driving. But in the body of the information, it does not say he was driving.
Correct. I think the body is correct. I think the heading.
The heading is wrong. So the code, we're gonna have to call upstairs to the district attorney's office because they have to correct. They're gonna have to make the correction to the code number. Because if not, everything is gonna come out wrong. Even the judgments. No, it has to be done that way. It has to be, they just have to simply put the right code in. Once they do that, all of the paperwork is gonna come out right. But right now, even if we go forward, it's gonna be wrong. Because, yeah, if it's gonna be wrong, so it needs to, it happens a lot.
Why don't you charge him 500 for the existing?
So one thing we have to do is have them call upstairs.
Charge.
It should just be obstruction of a highway passageway, which would be a class B. Not with the reckless driving on there, so. Okay, she can see if she can correct it from here. It's correctable, it's just. I guess when they say intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly, that's just the mens rea.
To obstruct the passage.
Yeah, he's just talking about his intent, intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly. They're not saying he was recklessly driving, but when they, I guess whoever did the information, they saw the word reckless, And then when they went in and looked for the code, they saw something said reckless. And so they just figured that's the one it should be when it's not. It's just a regular class B misdemeanor. It can be corrected. She's gonna see if she can correct it from here. Okay, court is back in session in clause number 24 CCCR 1966, case is styled the state of Texas versus Jonathan Urao Villasenor. Mr. Villasenor, is that your full name? Now, Mr. Villasenor, you've already been sworn in, is that correct? And your attorney, Mr. Reynolds, have waived the record, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, now I'm going to read this information again. And the information alleges that you, Jonathan Urao Villasenor, on or about June 30th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of obstruction of highway passageway. Now, the court note that the information, the title and the information is incorrect, in that it states obstruction of highway passageway, reckless driving. Class A. However, the body of this information charges you with a Class B misdemeanor offense, obstruction of a highway passageway. Now, Mr. Villasnore, do you understand what you've been charged with? Class B misdemeanor offense of obstructing a highway passageway. And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, and no contest? Guilty. Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Now, you'll note, you'll see some initials, TLH, which are my initials, and I've scratched through the portion of this document that has reckless drive, because this is not a reckless drive. This is a Class B obstruction of a highway. Now, do you recognize this document? Okay, on page, they got still have a A on it, it's supposed to be a B.
Yes.
You're gonna, I just scratched it, you can change it. Now, you're being charged with a Class B misdemeanor offense for driving while intoxicated, with the Class B misdemeanor offense, not driving while intoxicated, obstruction of highway passageway. Now, with the Class B misdemeanor, the range of punishment is minimum 0 days to a maximum 180 days in the county jail, or a fine that does not exceed $2,000, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment for this Class B misdemeanor offense of obstruction of a highway passageway? Now, on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on the line next to the box that's checked guilty. The initials are JUV. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document. And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have a document that is titled discovery certification on paper. Do you recognize this document?
Yes,
And is
sir.
this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Villasnore, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Villasnore, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir. Except for states one.
Any objections?
States one.
No objection. States Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Reynolds, you revised and counseled Mr. Villasnore. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None to my knowledge.
And Mr. Villasnore, your attorney, Mr. Reynolds, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Villasnore, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement in this case is to 1 year deferred probation with a $250 fine and 50 hours community service. This is to run concurrent with the plea in the next case.
And Mr. Reynolds, were you appointed in this case?
I was, Judge.
What is his fees in 66?
30 is his court cost,
What are his attorney's fees?
$350. And $60 probation.
Okay, Mr. Villasenor, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year deferred adjudicated probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250 plus court costs of $330. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month, year license fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. You'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $350. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $177 a month. Will you be able to pay the $177 each month?
Yes, Your Honor.
You'll also be required to perform 50 hours of community service and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. And this probation will run concurrent with the companion case, cause number 24 CCCR 1967. Mr. Villasenor, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes,
And do you accept the state's offer?
yes,
Mr. Villasenor, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Villasenor, we'll move to your next case. Your next case is cause number 24 CCCR 1967. And in this case, Mr. Villasenor, I have before me an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, it alleges that you, Jonathan Uriah Villasenor, on or about June 30th, 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest. Mr. Villasenor, do you understand what you have been charged with?
yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, how do you plead guilty? Not guilty or no contest? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Villasenor, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials, JUV, on the line next to a box that says check guilty. You
Yes.
place your initials on this document.
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, you recognize this document. Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box is checked, states that this is a plea bargaining agreement. You understand that statement?
Yes,
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
And you've previously signed and acknowledged a document that is titled Discovery Certification that I showed you on paper. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing all of the documents that I showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes,
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over?
yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
State,
Zero, six, one.
any objections?
No objection, states one.
No objection. States Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Reynolds, again, you advising counsel, Mr. Villasenor, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent in this case?
None to my knowledge.
And Mr. Villasenor, the attorney, Mr. Reynolds, has advised and counseled you in this case. Are you satisfied with his representation in this case?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Villasenor, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And state, do we have a plea bargaining agreement in this case?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
This is the previous case. This case is agreement is to 1 year deferred probation with a $250 fine and 50 hours community service. These
Wait.
are concurrent.
Okay, what is this court cost in this case?
277.
277.
75.
You're right. Let me see that. Okay. Mr. Villasnore. In this case, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $250 plus court costs of $277. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $75. And you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. You will not be required to pay a probation fee and a urinalysis fee in this case because you're paying it in the other case, so those cases are running concurrent. Therefore, your monthly amount that you will be paying in this case is $56 a month. Would you be able to pay the $56 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 50 hours of community service. In this case, will run concurrent with cause number 24 CCCR 1966. Mr. Villasenor, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes,
Do you think the state's offering your case is fair and just?
Yes,
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes,
Mr. Villasenor, I'll follow plea bargain agreements that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Villasenor, this will conclude your case. You're going to stand next to the bailiff and follow her directions. Now, Mr. Villasenor, if you successfully complete these probationary periods, these cases will be dismissed, will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Okay, Mr. Villasenor, please stand next to the bailiff, follow directions. Once you finish following other directions, you'll be free to go on your blessed day. And Mr. Reynolds, this is your last 2 cases.
it is.
You're free to go as well. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It'll be in recess until 1:30 when the trial starts.
Thank you, Judge.